Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest hosts, Jason and Olga Mathis.
Woo! Wow! Hello, Alliance family! Woo! It's time for the Wednesday call. How to work with your partner and your husband and whatever. But we are super excited. Thank you so much, Andy and Jane Albright, for giving us the opportunity to believe on us. It's an honor. Thank you so much, Andy Riddle, Angela Manso. Thank you for our team that do so much for us. Without you guys, we will never be where we are. We are blessed. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do is, let's talk about, Jason, about some housekeeping, so some announcements. Especially Andy Albright and Jane Albright working as a couple.
As a spouse. They're working as a couple, as a spouse, as a team.
Yes. So now they're traveling together with a bunch of couples or different people, top leaders, okay? And they call it N24/7 Tour, okay? So today, Andy Albright is in Pittsburgh to 12:30. That means it's almost over. But this afternoon, he's going to travel to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's going to be there from 3 to 6 p.m. Thursday, tomorrow, is going to be September 15th, Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, finally I know how to say. I used to say Louisville, but it's not Louisville. It's Louisville, Kentucky. It's going to be there from 10 to 1 p.m. And in the afternoon, 3 to 6 in Indianapolis, Indiana. No, I'm sorry. Thursday in the afternoon is going to be Nashville, Tennessee, from 3 to 6. And Friday is going to, the 16th, is going to be Charlotte, North Carolina, from 11 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Andy and Jane and a bunch of top leaders are coming to a city near you. 10 cities, 9 states, and 6 days. That is not crazy. Oh my God, I don't know how they do it. And now Jane with him, woohoo, it's going to be amazing, amazing good. Okay, and the 20th, September the 20th, Andy Albright is going to be in Fort Lauderdale, Weston, from 9:30 in the morning to 12:30. So please sign up because he's going to meet all the new people, bring everybody, take pictures with them. I love to take pictures with everybody. So let's do that. Okay, now another tour is Medicare tour. It's AEP. I was saying, Jason, what is AEP? I'm pretty sure some people are asking about that. It's annual enrollment period. Gina Hacks, Ivy Wilson, and the amazing Clay Meredith. He's going to be today in Tampa from 9 to 3 p.m. Tomorrow, September 15th, he's going to be in Orlando, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Gina, Ivy, and Clay. Same for the Medicare training. September 16th is going to be with us Friday in Fort Lauderdale. This time, Ivy is not coming. It's going to be Gina. It's going to be Clay. And guess what? The amazing Eric Belair. Woo! Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about trips. Now we're going to Ireland. I always want to go to Ireland. For the first time, we're going to go. So Jason, can you talk about the trip?
Oh my God, Ireland is going to be the best trip ever. It's only takes $135,000 trip points, and you and a +1 get to go. So I remember the first trip she earned. I wasn't in the alliance, and I was like, I asked the corporate, I said, does your wife have to take the husband as the +1? Is there some kind of rule that you have to do? And they said no. She could take anybody she wanted to take. And I was like, interesting. And she was like, well, maybe I'll take my daughter. And I was just started to work. She said I needed to recruit more and help more agency owners get started and make money. And that's what I started to do. And guess what? I made the +1. So I was fired up about that trip. It was a Greece trip. It was absolutely unbelievable. So you can earn these points by issue paying business. And here's the thing. Go to Breakthrough. Breakthrough's coming up. It's a 5-day event. It's going to be put on by Mark Aceta and Andy Albright. And it is a way to explode your business. And if you're a couple in this business, if you're not a couple in this business, if you want to get your significant other in the business, get them to Breakthrough. It's in Burlington, North Carolina at our National Convention Center up there. It's going to be absolutely awesome. 5 days of how to be a better leader, how to be a better spouse, how to work with your spouse better, how to work with your team better, how to work with yourself better. And if you go, and this is the first event you're going to, and you're trying to make it to Ireland, guess what? I don't know how they're doing this. Albright got crazy, 50,000 bonus points to go to Breakthrough. 50,000 points if you're a brand new agent going to Breakthrough to go to Ireland. You only need 135,000. Now, if you're a current agent and you went to, in 2022 this year, either NatCon or Family Reunion, you get an additional 10,000 points to go to Breakthrough.
Wow.
So bottom line is get to Breakthrough. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
So 60,000 points?
If you're a brand new agent, it's your first time, you can get 60,000 points to go to Breakthrough. And we've got the best trip ever scheduled for 2024.
That's right.
There's more. There's absolutely more.
Yes.
If you go to Breakthrough, you can get an additional, well, first off, you're going to find out where the trip is in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And
I cannot wait to know. My God. It's going to be 10 days.
Yeah, you get 60,000 points if you're brand new. And here's what I was going to say. If you go to Breakthrough, guess what? For 2024 trip, you get to earn 14 months to earn the 2024 trip. So he's adding on November the 1st through December the 31st. All of those points count for Ireland, and they count for the awesome trip in 2024. So you get 14 months for that trip. So it's absolutely incredible. You guys got to get there and get those points.
Andy Albright and Jane Albright is really getting crazy, giving so many points.
Absolutely.
Woohoo! Okay.
Absolutely incredible.
Okay, so you finished with the announcements now?
That's done.
Okay, so now it's time to give the people what they came for, like Terry Edwards said. Okay, so we're going to talk about
how to work with your spouse to build your business faster and bigger and explode it.
That's right. That's right. Well, I remember, oh my God, I remember like it was the other day when I started to work in this business, no English, a lot of accent. I was in Jacksonville. And when I found out about this business, I really got crazy because I really want to do it. But I was scared. I thought I couldn't do it. And I was insecure. But when I went to this meeting, I sit down in the front row and I said, if that guy is making money, I can make money. And that day I said, I'm going to do it. And I passed the test. This was like college degree because I don't have no school, no college degree, no nothing. I have a GED. But for me, it took me 3 months. But who cares how much time take you to pass that test and go and help families? And I thought that was the hardest. And then they invite me to go and make dials. And when I made the first dial and the people say hello, I hung up immediately. My God, I was super scared. But and then I have an amazing plan. I say, oh my God, this plan is going to work for me. I'm going to tell my husband to make dials for me. He speaks English. He's gringo. He don't have no accent. And awesome. He make dials. He make appointments, and I go and help families. But the plan didn't work really well because when I was telling my husband, hey, can you make dials for me? He said, what? I don't want to do insurance. And I said, come on. He said, no, I had a full-time job. I can. So to be honest, I was getting really upset with this guy, with my husband. I'm sorry. I was so upset because I said, he can do dials for me. He can make appointments. He can help me in the business, and he don't want to do it. I was pulling him to these meetings. I was so excited, but he wasn't that excited. And then one time in one of the conference and in the big events, I called Andy Albright crying. I say, Andy, please talk to my husband. Talk to my husband to do this business. He said, Olga, I cannot tell him what to do. If you cannot If he's not listening to you, he's not going to listen to me. What you have to do, Olga, is go and work, killing it, go and help families, put money in the bank, and I'm telling you that your husband is going to come and work with us. And Jason, tell me your story.
Oh my God. I just remember that I was working at Mama Bama, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. And, you know, my wife started in this business and, oh man, I just remember her struggling to learn the phone script, to have that confidence to do that. And she kept coming to me for answers. And I'm like,
that's right.
I'm not the best guy for answers. I work at Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, and I do mortgages. I've never done insurance. Why don't you call up this kid, Andy Riddle, and talk with Andy Riddle and go over there and get some training? And she was super nice about it. And she kept working me to make her dials. And I'm like, listen, Olga, I don't ask you to come to the Bank of America and do my job for me over there. So quit asking me to do your job. And, you know, she did call Andy Albright. It was funny. And she called Andy and Andy said, hey, Olga, if you start putting money in the bank, this banker will notice it and he will take note of that. And that's what's going to fire him up. If you as the wife cannot fire up your own husband, you got troubles. And she started making the dials and doing that and dragging me to these events. And I started to dream again. And she started making over $9,000 a month in deposits. And that's when I got fired up. And I was like, holy crap, my wife's got a real business. And, you know, I started working with her. And I guess it's kind of like prior to this TWC, the way I work with my spouse now, with my awesome bride. And you know what? Happy birthday tomorrow. I want to say it nationwide. My wife has a birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that. And I said, hey, what shirt should I wear on the TWC? She said, a blue shirt. So I went upstairs in my closet, got me a blue shirt, came back down, and she said, hey, you're not wearing that blue shirt on the TWC today, are you? And I said, oh, absolutely not. I was just checking to make sure this one still fit. And see, I've learned over the years that what my wife is really saying is, hey, go upstairs in your closet, get me about 3 options and bring some blue shirts. So that's what I did. I got me some shirts. I brought them down and she picked this one. See, it's not important to me what shirt I wear on the TWC today, but it's important that this matches for some reason, I guess. And this is what she wanted. So this is what we go with. And if I had a time machine, guys, and could go back and learn what was really important to work with your spouse, it would have saved us a lot of bigger and faster. Our business would be bigger and faster. And I heard Mike and Noelle Leventovich. Noelle told the story that she got her husband in the business. And I was like, wow, that's kind of like what happened with me and Olga. So Mike Leventovich came down to South Florida and Fort Lauderdale, was doing some training. I said, hey, Mike, you know, I'd like to talk to you, get some training from you, some coaching from you about how you and your wife work awesome in the business. Seems like you guys are perfect. You never have no problems. Everything is awesome. You got a massive business. Like, man, just tell me what I got to do to work with my wife. And he's like, okay. So we sat down, we had lunch that day. He must have worked with me for an hour and a half. And he was just pouring into me. How do you guys do it? How do you come together and conquer? Not divide and conquer, but how do you come together and conquer this business? And I started working with Andy Albright. I called him up and I said, Andy, you know, how do I work with my spouse? She's doing this, she's doing that. And he basically told me, he said, Jason, look, it's your job to do your job. Your wife doesn't need a coach in the business. You as the husband don't need to be coaching her.
That's right.
Let me do the coaching. Get her on the TWC, the activity call, read the books, and I'll work on her from that angle. And what she needs to hear from you is you're working, you're busting your hump, you're out there getting coaching from Riddle, getting coaching from me, plugging into the system, going to the trains, going to Breakthrough to learn to grow. And that's what I started to do. And learn from our mistakes. Like, we really figured out early on that if we got together on Sundays and looked at our schedule for the previous week and see what we did well. We do more of that. And what didn't do, we tweak the schedule for the next week of how that would do. So we meet every Sunday for 15, 20 minutes, go to lunch, do a little working lunch day, and talk about our schedule. And that has helped tremendously. And we get coaching from other people. This work, here's a pro tip. When my wife comes to me for advice, what your partner's really looking for is for you to use these more, your ears more. So just listen, and be a sounding board for them. If I had a time machine, I could go back, I would not try to fix all of my wife's problems. Like, that's not what your wife needs in a business partner or a spouse, right? So don't try to do that. And I started working with Andy Riddle and the Levin Toviches and Albright and Jane and getting to the trainings. And so what we found is get a coach for both of us. When we talk, we can talk to our coach, a Riddle or an Andy or a Levin Tovich, and they can talk with them separately too. That works fantastically well. That is a trick to explode your business quicker. And listen to your spouse and they'll grow and explode. So, Olga?
One thing that I want to say is that the other day, Jared called me and said, hey, we had to talk because I know I'm not supposed to tell Rachel what to do. So that was so nice because that means he's growing too, and I'm growing too. I have to get coaching too and say, hey, I want to tell him a lot of things. So working together is a lot of challenges, working as a couple. And one of the challenges, for example, when Jared called me, later I called Rachel and we talk, and it's so nice because we are like a family. We help each other here to grow and get better, because I don't listen to Jason and Jason don't listen to me. I get upset with him, and yesterday I was running an appointment with Jimmy on the field and he says something on the phone to me, and I am a golden retriever. I say something and then I was like a lion, and then I say, oh God, what I said wasn't nice. So what is nice to be humble, and I call again and say, hey, baby, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry to say that. Say, no, it's okay, but it's nice. You have to be humble. Remember, you're working together and say sorry. Jason, a lot of times say sorry too. So it's really, really awesome. So one of the challenges when I start was that I want Jason to do what I said. So I was always paying attention to Jason. Jason, why you not making that? When finally he decided to come and work with us, I want him to do a lot of things. I said, Jason, why you not calling? What you doing? And I was like trying to tell him what to do. That didn't work. He don't even want to go to the meetings, no, nothing, because he said, I don't want no more coaching from you. And we start to fight a lot. And that is not the point. The point is to get together, meet in the middle and all that. So, and then when I start to tell him what to do, I start to read this book. Can you guys see it? Oh, yeah. Inside the Circle. You don't pay attention. I don't pay attention anymore about Jason. I don't care what he's doing. I cannot tell him what to do. He don't tell me. He's really good on that. He don't tell me what to do. Thank God you are like that. Thank you, sweetie. He's not the kind of person that is telling me this, that, now. Read Inside the Circle, and page 120 says, don't separate work from the rest of your life. Use of balance book. This book, guys, helped me a lot. Of balance. You have to balance your life. You have to balance your work life, your private life. So it's really important to read books. That's why. Separate personal subjects from business subjects. Be respectful and honest. Mutually agree to each other roles. He's who recruit, I sell. I'm not supposed to. Sometimes people ask me about recruiting. I say, talk to my husband. When people ask my husband, what about sales? He said, talk to Olga. So we know what is our roles. The other one is get away together. Do things together. We have one night for a day night, okay? Be open to compromise. Keep your business out of the bedroom. That is super important. seek third-party advice from those you trust. Like what Jared said, he called me. He's looking for help because he want to have peaceful in his relationship. So he's looking for help. Saint Janina and Caio and Rachel. So it's awesome to do that. So it's super important. So now, that is something super important. Okay. Another thing, be patient with your wife or your husband or your partner. Why? Because sometimes we are more patient with the strangers than really with your spouse. A lot of time I see Jason talking with people, and sometimes when we talk, it's not patience. Say, why? You're not that patient with me like you are with the other people. So that is what we are trying to get better and all that. Okay. Now we have these amazing couples. You have anything else to say, or we bring this?
No, you did it perfect.
Perfect. Woo! Love it, love it. That is one of the things that I love about Jason. When he has to be humble, even that he's a lion, when he has to be humble, he's humble. So that is good. Okay, so we have these two amazing couples. We love you guys so much. I'm gonna bring up our first of two couples, that is Jared and Rachel. And hey, Jared and Rachel.
What's up, Rachel? What's up, Jared?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having us on this call. We're so excited.
Yes, me too. Me too. Well, I see that you are separate. So Jared is where are you now, Jared?
I'm out in Volusia right now, running appointments.
Running appointments. And the beautiful Rachel, what you are doing?
I am home with Oliver, doing some
Okay. So that is the good thing about the power of together. So one do one thing, one do another. But let me start with Jared. Okay. So Jared, tell about your work history, family life prior to the alliance.
Hey Olga, hey Jason, thanks for having us on today. Super pumped to be here. And Rachel didn't know that I called you the other day, so I'd like to thank you for the conversation I'm gonna have
until you get home
after this call is over. So thanks. So yeah, prior to the alliance, I had my own welding company. I was the guy you probably see driving down the highway with a welder on the back of the truck with you might be in North Dakota and you see some plates from New Hampshire, like those. That was me. I always did that for, I think, about 7 years. I had my own welding company, and then it was great. I got to travel around a lot. I was making a bunch of money doing it, but it's kind of a young man's game, as anybody in construction will kind of tell you. So in some of my best years, I think I did probably a rolling average like $150,000-$160,000 a year, which that's nothing to be ashamed about by any means, But it was a lot of time alone, a lot of time in hotel rooms. Started raising my kids through an iPhone, and that's not something I wanted to do. And I knew I was smart enough and driven enough to get into something else. So I think about last November, coming up on about a year now, we made the decision to kind of sell everything and move down to Florida and just kind of start a whole new life, just pick up and go, and we didn't really have much of a plan, I guess. But it's not that it's not like we moved across country with no money in the bank account. Like, we had some carryover money, but then we got looking into what we might want to do for jobs. I knew I didn't want to weld anymore because it's pretty hot down in Florida. Didn't want to be doing that anymore. So started looking for jobs, got on Craigslist. I think it's going to be trademarked by the Alliance pretty soon. Seems like we find a lot of people on Craigslist. But I kept seeing insurance broker pop up. So I went, kind of did my research, took my test, and then Kyle called me off the state license list, and the rest is history.
Okay, so Kyle called you from the license list.
Yeah.
So here you are, you're welding, thinking about your family, raising your kids through an iPhone. It kind of sounds like Andy Riddle. He was saying the same thing. He traveled 50 weeks out of the year. You were making, good money compared to the average American. And so you found this, insurance broker thing. You Googled it and YouTubed it and did all that and met Kyle and went to that. How did you and Rachel decide, like, because she wasn't in insurance, you got into insurance. So how did that happen?
How do we decide to get into an insurance?
Yeah, you decided. Did you and her decide at the same time, or how did that come about?
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just kind of I'm a pretty driven person, and when I decide I'm going to do something, I just kind of do it. Obviously, it's in the best interest of my family that we do this. I'll be around more. We have the long-term goal in mind. I said, listen, hon, it's going to be might be bumpy for a year or two here, but this is going to work. Right. And so kind of got her on page. I sold her that lie. And then, I got my
lie.
lesson.
Crazy.
Yeah. She thought I was crazy, but she'd been through it with me before starting my first business. When I started my welding business, I quit a full-time job making like 50, 60 grand a year, full benefits. A week after my son was born, we needed insurance for when my son was born. Then I said, all right, hon, I'm going to hop out and do this. And she thought I was crazy when I did that. But after we put, 10 grand in the bank account in the first month, she's like, well, maybe he's got an idea here. Let's see what the kid's got here,
Rachel, what do you remember, Rachel? How did that conversation, why did you get fired up and decide to do insurance with your husband?
Once I heard the conversations that Jared was having every week with you, Jason, and with Kyle, and the whole, they had a plan to make all this money and their goals. And I was like, I can do this. At the time, I was applying to nursing schools, but it was a 2-year wait for the program. So I said, what am I going to do for 2 years? I need to get some kind of income rolling.
So what were you doing while you're waiting for this? You had a job. What kind of work did you do?
I was a full-time clinician working in all men's prisons. And I was also a part-time nursing assistant. So butt wiper, Jason.
Oh my God.
As a clinician, I worked my way up as far as I could, and I was only making $40,000. And as a nursing assistant, part-time, I was probably making about $15,000. So.
And what is the other job that you did?
A nursing assistant.
She called it a butt wiper.
Yeah. What Jason calls it. Yes.
But I know you work in a prison.
Yes. Yeah. I was like a counselor inside prisons.
Oh my God.
I don't know how
you do it.
You too little. You too little to be doing that.
Yeah.
9 months pregnant, in and out of prisons.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're doing that. So you're making your $15,000 or $40,000 a year. You've got two little boys. Jared's on the road. He's doing this insurance stuff, and you hear him talking to me and Kyle. And then what do you decide to do?
It was January 1st. And I said, all right, that's it. I need to make a change because I want to make some money. He's doing really well with this so far. Like, let's try this out. So January 1st, I started the course, and didn't know anything about insurance at all. Nothing. I thought Jared was crazy, but let's give it a go. And I finished the course in maybe a week and got licensed on the 13th. So.
And I know you, the first time that I met you and Jared was in one of the big events. Can you tell us what happened there? What you two decide to go to that big event?
Yeah, it was National Convention. We decided to go to. We had just met you guys. We just met Kyle and Nina. And we were excited, but we didn't really know what to expect, not coming from an industry like this before. We went there, we were introduced to so many couples that were doing this together, and we saw the potential for like a financial freedom, making our own schedules, being there for our kids. I was sick of having to request time off just to bring my kids to the doctors, and then sometimes it wouldn't even be approved. So then Jared would have to go, and that takes away from the company as well. So we saw these couples doing it together. I said, if one person's making, $200,000, like what if we both did this? Like this would be life-changing for our family. So, and there were just so many great speakers up there. We were blown away. It was awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. And Jared, what are the challenges of working together and how you solve it?
Oh, there's no challenges, Olga.
You guys are perfect.
Yeah, it's just perfect. We wake up every day. super happy, smiling, no stress ever. No, I mean, it's tricky, you know, and I think we'll always still be working on it, like, because there's always new things in this business that we're getting into, trying to figure out, and we're still only, I think, 10 months in. But
Wow.
the way that we, I guess, just make it work is, you know, it's a long-term game. Like, if anyone tells you you're going to get, I thought I would have been a millionaire by now after 9 months. Like, it doesn't work like that. So we have the long-term vision, and that's what we think about. So when we have bad days, like, we don't get each other on each other about it, or if we're having trouble with something, we just, you know, you just give grace, forget about it, and and we don't coach each other. You know, we don't, you know, beat down on each other when we have a bad day. And I think that's really critical, is just kind of giving the other person grace, because when you clock out at the end of the day, that's still the same person across from you at the dinner table. And if you're trying to get lucky later on that night, you probably shouldn't try to be a jerk during the day. That one took me a few months to to figure out, you know, but you know, it's a learning thing, and you're going to figure out who's good at what. Like, Rachel's better at recruiting than I am. I'm better at, like, the technical stuff on the side of the business, better at the Medicare stuff. But, like, I don't have to be good at recruiting because she's going to do it. You know, she doesn't have to be good at Medicare because I'm going to do it. I mean, she'll call me from in the home sometimes, says, hey, I have this question. You know, before, if she was doing it by herself, she wouldn't be able to do that. So it's been a huge thing for our business, being able to play off each other like that. We've been able to get more clients. I mean, we don't have an assistant. We don't have an assistant yet. So as of right now, like, Rachel's home, she's the assistant for the day. I'm out in the field. But yesterday I was home. You know, I was the assistant for the day until she came home at 5 o'clock, and then I went and ran an appointment. So we're doing it together. We're able to stretch our day out, like, super long. And if someone's watching and they're doing it, but their spouse isn't, like, you can probably get them to do some stuff for you, right? Because if they're seeing the paychecks roll in, be like, hey, listen, paychecks aren't free. Maybe you could follow up and sit on hold with Mutual Omaha for me while you're hanging around, you know, like, so that's just kind of how we do it. There's no job that either of us won't do for the other one, and that's able to move our business along so much faster, you know?
And Rachel, that is amazing, the way how you start to work together, because it's not perfect. I mean, I know you guys are perfect, but not everything is perfect. So I know that you have some challenges, especially because you have Oliver, you have Carter, you have babysitters, you have to do it. So how, Rachel, you handle that? How you do it? Like, tell me.
Like, what does a typical work week look like for Rachel
exactly
to manage everything?
Yeah, like Jared said, we got some challenges, but we're working on it. A typical week for us, Jared will dial on Mondays, but sometimes, like, Jared will go out on Mondays, Monday through Friday, and run appointments until about 2 or 3, and he heads back. And when he comes home at that 2 or 3 is when I go out to go door knocking. And when I'm home, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm taking care of the house. I'm dialing on Mondays and Thursdays, trying to book things for both of us throughout the week. And even on Saturdays, we'll kind of swap who's going to run the whole day, whether it's door knocks or appointments, who's taking care of the kids. But on Sunday nights, we sit down and we kind of go over what our week's going to look like. When we go over it, we have roles defined. So there's no confusion throughout the week about who's doing what. So it does make it a little bit easier. But then there are some challenges here and there. You know, tomorrow is the AEP rollout, so we're both going for that. But we're going to bring Ollie with us. So it's just making little changes here and there to make it work. It's all about doing what you have at the time that you have.
Right. And wow, that's awesome. And I know a lot of people that have kids, there are couples that sometimes they don't know what to do. So it's good that they listen how you do it, how you manage it, and all that. And for sure, you're going to Breakthrough, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Why, Jared, you decide to go? And you're recruiting. I mean, both. I know Rachel recruiting and all that, but you start to have a team.
Yeah. So we're trying to get the team there, but as to why we're going, like, I mean, I think Andy had said it, and I think it was Robbie Kraft said it, like, the numbers coming out of Breakthrough. Like, so, yeah, there's a cost to going to Breakthrough. You got to pay for the ticket. You got to pay for the flight, your food, whatever. Like, if someone were to come up to me and tell me, hey, if you give me $1,500 and come to this event, you're going to make $20,000 next month. oh, okay. Like if this business is going to work for the ones who put the work in. So we're going to Breakthrough to get that knowledge, because these events typically cost like $20,000. You know, if you were to go to any kind of high level stuff like this, I mean, I'm excited about it. And we're renting a house. We got our team going there. So we'll be doing association after and before and during. We're going to have the whole group in a minivan. So that'll be fun. You know
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, like let's just get people there. And then we're going to buy our tickets to NatCon while we're there. Like we're going to buy 10 tickets. We're going to get our team to the next.
That's right.
It's just getting the churn going. We'll get 5 people this time. They're going to come out, write more business. It doesn't get much simpler than that. Get to the events and you're going to make more money. Like I wish we did more than 4 a year, you know?
Right. You know what is the crazy thing is that we look for people to do this business, and you're looking for diamonds. And when I see about you that Caio and Janina find you both, is like how persistent, consistent, and determined you both are, just to say that. Because some people say, what? I'm not going to buy nothing for another big event that I don't even know. Because your dream is big, and you know that is what you want for your family. Like Rachel, how do you feel to know that you can go to your kids' game anytime you want, that you don't have, like Jason said, you don't have to worry about or ask about PTO, is what you say?
Right.
PTO. How do you feel about that?
It's amazing. I never had that opportunity at any of my other jobs. Like I said, if I had requested time off, it wasn't always approved. And I was working sometimes first, second, and third shifts. So, I mean, I missed a lot of milestones, but I know Jared missed a lot too. So being able to make our own schedule and put our kids first and be there for parent-teacher conferences and be there for T-ball games and birthday parties and friends and all this stuff, it means a lot to me. And family is a really big piece to why we're doing this. And I feel very grateful that we found this opportunity for that reason.
Yeah, and you both are super crazy good that you guys go out. I see you posting things and all that. So really proud of you both, and love you guys. And you, Jason.
Yeah. So if you guys could say like a pro tip, like what is working with a spouse, you know, what is something that you guys do or would go back and change? Like what is something that would help someone else who's listening to y'all who I mean, second month, I think you guys paid like 17 grand in the business together. That's awesome. What would you say, hey, do this and it'll help you grow faster, bigger, stronger?
I would say, like, if you've been doing this for a couple of months and say your spouse is either with you or not, like, what do you want to get out of the business? Like, you have to have your goal set, right? So you want to agree on your goals together and say, okay, this is what it's going to take to get there, because it's going to get hard. Like 2-3 months in, you're going to get a good chin check. You're going to get a good charge back. And it's like, well, if you don't have your goal defined, you're not going to know what to do. But like, if we get a charge back now, it's like, all right, well, I guess we got to go out and write more business. But because we're in it for the long run, we know where we want to get. So having that defined early, which isn't something that we had, like we were just, all right, let's just do it and make some money at it. Now we're like, all right, let's do it. We want to have 1,000 Medicare clients by the end of next year. We want to have a team. Okay, now how do we do that?
Oh, you got muted.
Wait.
Can't hear you. I think. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Oh, God.
All right. Yeah. Rachel, what about Jared? Well, when you come back in, you come back in. Rachel, what would you say would be important for a couple that's in the business, getting in the business? What would help them blow up bigger, faster?
I would say have your rules defined. Know what you guys want to do and what you're going to do, so that confusion isn't there. You're not butting heads when Monday morning comes around and they say, I thought you were dialing. I thought you're booking my appointments. I thought you were running appointments. If we had figured that out a lot sooner, I think things would have been a little bit smoother and you guys would have gotten less calls from us. So yeah, defining your roles for sure, and having patience, give more grace to your spouse. Like Jared and we are opposites. I am a golden, he is a lion. We learn differently. We do things differently. We're just two very different personality types. So we had to learn how to talk to each other in a work manner, and had to figure out how he does certain things is very different than I do. And it's a learning process. So give grace.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel and Jared. You guys are awesome, and keep the good job that you're doing, and keep helping families. And now that you have a team, I see how you helping them too. So proud of you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So now we're going to call the second couple, the beautiful Kyle and Janina Harry.
What's up, guys?
Can I hear you?
Well, hey there.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
What's happening? How's Kailani, Lorelai? How's everybody?
They're great, man. Blessed. Kailani's growing like a weed. She's over 20 pounds. She'll be 7 months tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Lily just turned 9 years.
Wow.
It's flying, man.
Beautiful family. And you had a beautiful smile, both. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys do too. I hear you're having a birthday tomorrow, the big 4-0, huh?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was prepping for this talk, and God, I just, Janina, I just remember 6 years ago, here you were, going through a horrific divorce, and you had a 3-year-old little Lorelai, and I would talk with you, and you started doing this business. I want you to, before we get into all that though, tell everybody just, 4 or 5 minutes about Janina and where you're from, and what you did, your education, and how you got to America, and how you got into insurance, and all that stuff.
Okay, in 5 minutes. Woo. All right. Hi.
5 minutes. We have more than 5 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi. My name is Janina Harry. I am not originally an American. Now I am a citizen since April this year. Yes, I'm really excited. It's a really good accomplishment for me after, now being here for 10 years. I moved to America back in 2012. I did hospitality management over there and worked in, different places. I was in Switzerland for, when a snow winter season was happening, and, in France and in Italy in the summer, and doing, whatever you do in hospitality. So I would either clean rooms, or I would serve tables, or I would be in the bar. So, and I would always come back to, my little village that I grew up in, and there's really nothing to do over there, and I always wanted to get out. So I applied in a hotel in Miami Beach. They took me in, and that's how I got here in 2012. And really quick met my ex-husband and was pregnant with Lorelai, who is now 9 years old, and was adopted also this year by Kyle.
That's right.
Yes, officially his dad. We are all hairy now, Lorelai including. So that's super exciting. That's such a big thing to do. And I don't want to get emotional because I know this is so super awesome. So I was working in hospitality, worked at this hotel in Miami Beach. Was married and pregnant, and this guy really didn't treat me well. So I knew I had to get out of the house, but on a hospitality salary for front desk. It just doesn't work out. Miami is so expensive. Living by yourself with daycare included, having a car is just not working. So I was writing so many applications, and stumbled into insurance, and started out with a different company. Worked with them about 1.5 years. So I got my license in November 2014, and, loved helping families right from the beginning, but just, whereabouts, how this company was operating, no leads, was only referral based, and was kind of doing the bait and switch. So was, telling people, we're coming there for the child safety kit. But then I really was there to sell insurance. And that's, I didn't like it. I, was not a friend of it, but I was paying the bills at that point. So I, one of my colleagues actually found out, he actually found Jason on Craigslist.
Craigslist.
on Craigslist. And then he called me up, and he was one of the top producers at the other company already. So he called me up and he says, "You will not believe I found a company that has leads." And I was like, "You're full of it. There is no leads." And I would hang up the phone. And he would call me again. He goes, "Nina, I'm telling you, we have to get together. I need to tell you about this company." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So we met at McDonald's parking lot. He, showed me leads. He showed me, different things. I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to a meeting." And I remember February of 2016 is when I walked into the airport hotel in Fort Lauderdale, to you and met you guys being up front. Nathan Thomas. Everybody was over there, and it was just so wonderful, how you guys were perceiving me and, just welcoming me into the family. And I remember I bought my agent kit right then and there. I went in the field with Olga the very next day. And I remember I was crying in the car. I said, "Olga, if I make this switch coming over here, it has to work. Like, you cannot let me down, because I have Lorelai. I need to take care of her. I have no family here in America. It's just, me and her. So I cannot rely on nobody. I, make money over here, not decent. I would make, working about 40 hours, 50 hours a week. I would make there, maybe 1,500, $2,000 on a good week. It was like, not, doing the same, than over here. So yeah, I would tell her, it really has to work out. Like, you gotta, I need to be able to count on you. And, you sold that day something crazy, like 8,000-9,000 AP in that day. And I had never even imagined those kind of numbers. I wouldn't even see those numbers on the leaderboard ever. It's like, the other company's like, "Okay, Olga, well, I trust you." So yeah, then that Monday I quit and I came over to the Alliance, and 2016, it's been 6 years.
Janina, I remember that, and you started working and selling and recruiting, and we started helping you build your team and getting new agency owners onboarded with you and you training them and all that stuff. And I remember talking with you, and you're like, "Well, it's just so hard. I'm a single mom now, and you got Olga, and Olga's got you, and I don't have a husband who does the business," and it was all this kind of stuff. So, and then how did you meet Kyle?
Yeah, tell us how you met Kyle. Woo!
Well, first of all, I gotta tell everybody, about you guys, how really, you took me in, and Jason will pick up, Lorelai from school and do homework with her, do lunch with her, keep her over Saturdays so I can run the field, Olga always there, taking care of Lily, always, teaching her, the all right way already, being 3-4 years old, and just wonderful, introducing her to books. And what you guys have done for me, I would not be here, if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for being the godparents to our children too.
That's right.
We love you guys so much. We love you guys so much. Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, how I met Kyle was actually a lot of things happened on those hot spots.
Yes,
it was really
they get hot
that day. So yeah, I met Kyle 3 years ago now.
I remember like it was yesterday. I was there.
That's right.
Yeah, there was we met, and then we really would give each other like these awkward hugs. He just wouldn't let go. It'd be like
super long hugs. Everybody be waiting in line for a hug.
Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah, that's 3 years ago now. Now I have a husband
and a baby girl.
How long you are married? What is the job that you both do? What is what Kyle do? What is what you do? What is the role that you both have?
So we are married now since November last year, but we joined each other's agency very quickly. So we, we're both individual sales agents. He was doing really good. He was rocked it out the park already for like the first month, issuing, I don't know, 30,000 or something crazy. So, we were individual selling. He would be recruiting, and we joined and had, combined points very quickly. We moved in together very fast. And we saw that, with us both going in the field and then both of us recruiting, it was kind of jacked up, and we couldn't really match up who was doing what, and hey, have you talked to this person? Oh no, you recruited them. Why haven't you talked to them? And then oh man, have you called this lead? Because everything was kind of
wait, Janina, I thought you guys are perfect. You don't have no problems.
Wait. Now we are.
Right. So yeah, we saw that we should separate who is doing what, and I like to drive, going to houses, meet people, and he, with his awesome phone voice, is really, really good at recruiting. So yeah, that's how we separated it, and that's how it really stayed up to this day. I sell, well, I don't recruit, but I train agents. I'm not actively, calling state license lists or calling appointments. And I'm selling, and Kyle has been recruiting. And, it works with roles who was doing what, which doesn't say, that he doesn't sell a policy here and there. I'm not talking to nobody about, recruiting. Of course, you sit across somebody, you ask, do you know anybody else who would, be able to help us out with this, or even you, or, anybody. So it doesn't limit you to that. But, of course, not like focus on focus.
Yes. Okay, and Kyle, I know you are a brand new dad, 7 years old, beautiful Kailani, 7 months old.
Yes, don't rush it, Olga. Don't rush it.
No, and how that new life, because now you're single, no kids. Now you're doing insurance, you're married, you travel, you have 2 kids. How you two manage that way? How you manage, what are the challenges that you have?
Olga, no challenges whatsoever. It's 100% perfect.
You're like Jared and Rachel, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's how we taught them. So first off, let me say thank you, Jason and Olga Mathis. You guys are incredible. Andy and Angela, thank you guys. Jane and Andy Albright, thanks for starting this whole thing, because it's amazing how it works. It's incredible being able to work with my spouse in the business. And I say the biggest thing is having your spouse on the same page as you. Communication is what it boils down to. Even if the spouse is not in the business with you, kind of like Jared was saying, they're going to be able to help you, on certain things, pendings, calling clients, maybe booking appointments. It's massive when they're on the same page. If they're in the business together, we call it the power of 11, because it's 1 + 1 = 11, right?
That's right.
You used to be 2, but it's like the power of 11 people working together. When you're on the same page, you're unstoppable. We complement each other very nicely. When Nina was in the field, I'd make sure, her lunch was ready. Lily's ready for school. Her mind has to be set on the field. There can be no distractions, no negativity, only positive, good vibes from everything, from when we wake up till out the door. And vice versa. When I was in the field and she was pregnant, it was the same thing. So communication is key. And like Jared and Rachel said, and I got to say, we are super proud of them and what they've accomplished in such a short period of time. Like where we messed up, they're getting it right now because they're doing the right thing.
What would you, if you could go back to your younger self, Kyle, what would you do different? What would you plug into? What would you do to get better, to blow it up faster and stronger? Like tell a new couple, do this will help you guys do it. What would that be?
Great question, Jason. I'm glad you asked that. I would say heavily invest in yourself and your business. And what I mean by that is read books, get coaching from your upline, get to the events. Like Jared said, if I could tell you, you're going to spend $1,500 to make 20 grand, would you make that leap of faith? Would you take it?
Yes.
Come on now. Be silly not to. So, and then invest in your business, invest in your leads. If you don't have a massive warm market, if you can't help your family and friends, put as much money into the business as you can. If you can only afford $100 a month, then do $500. You know what I mean? Extend yourself because you're going to get it back 10x. Recruit. Don't wait till you're successful to show your friends and family success. Use your uplines as an example. Use their paychecks and what they've done as an example. Don't wait. Because next thing you know, you're going to go to a convention, you're going to see your best friend sitting there on somebody else's team. And be like, oh my God, I was going to reach out to her next month. Oh my gosh.
How important, how beneficial has it been to have like a Riddle in your life, a Jane and Andy Albright, to get that coaching? How has that helped you guys?
I mean, it's tremendous. You know, instead of making errors, you know, we learn from uplines and we go around those errors. You know, when we're running into problems, like I'm trying to coach her, she's trying to coach me. No, we learned that you never do that. You reach upline, have them help coach your spouse. So, I mean, coaching is key. You know, where you want to get in the business, find someone who's already there and duplicate what they're doing. So that's massive.
And Kyle, I know you talked for the first time with Jared. What is that tell me what happens if that time when you talked to Jared the first time?
Well, I'll tell you what, like Marcusetta says, you know, it's you're looking for aces, you know, and when I talked to Jared, I'm like, I found an ace. and I was fired up. He's like, oh, my wife's in class too to get her license. Is this something she could do too? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So, I mean, they're exactly what you're looking for in the business. Super sharp couple, driven, focused.
I remember you told me about him. You're like, hey, I got this ace couple. And I'm like, oh, send me a picture of them. And you sent me this.
That's right. Look at that.
I got fired up. I'm like, anybody who can wear a 1920 flapper dress and have a husband like that on her arm, they got to be somebody. And then it was on like Donkey Kong then.
Yeah, Jason never called me so fast. It was an immediate phone call.
I remember that he said, Olga, you have to see this couple. They are awesome. They look great. You what? When he showed me the pictures, I like it. And then when I found out that they talked the first day and then you invite them to go to
we get them to the national event Albright was putting on at NatCon in Burlington. I was like, oh my God, they got to get this world-class training. And to their credit, they went.
Yeah. And I remember when one time Rachel said that, oh, I am struggling with dialing and all that. And I talked to Janina. She talked to Janina. Janina, we talk all, and they say, okay, it's time for us to go to Orlando. So Janina went to Orlando. I went to Orlando, and we stayed together for the weekend. And it's awesome to help each other, okay, that you're not alone. So you're going to learn little here, little there, but stay together is big.
Absolutely. I mean,
yes.
Getting that world-class coaching, reading the books, and giving grace. I think Jared touched on it. Just have a pocket full of grace and let yourself grow and let them grow. Your spouse or your significant other does not need you to start to do a mind meld with them and try to fix them. They're intelligent people. I remember working with my wife and she started to get it. And when she started to get it, I was like, this is great. And then I started to work with the Alliance. So if you guys, the real takeaway from today, I would say, is take a deep breath. When your spouse wants you to wear a different colored shirt, just go get a different colored shirt. Okay. And reach the people that have a big business, like Kyle was saying, that are in the business couples and know how to help you, help yourself, and help your spouse. And what I tell people is I started working better with my wife, the better the brake on my tongue was working. The better that brake works, the better it is to work with your spouse. So get good at the brake on the tongue and using these ears a whole lot more.
Yeah, I remember when I started this company, I saw Jason and Tony Carey working together. I said, oh my God. And Tony Carey is a little crazy in a good way. And I always saw her on the stage and I said, I want to be like her one day. And they are amazing working together. I see Mike and Noela Vintovich, the way how they work together, that he didn't start the business. So that's a matter. One thing that I recommend to everybody, if you have a husband, if you have a wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, don't push so hard. Just work, and go to the big events, go to the national conventions, family reunion. I never miss nothing. Always go to the hotspots. Go to the listen to the Wednesday call, the product call Thursdays, Friday the activity call. Always get together with the people who's going to help you. Don't listen to the neighbor that is broke. Listen to the people. Listen to Andy Albright. They coming to see us. They traveling for 6 days, 2 cities each day. That's crazy. I don't miss nothing. I always try to be around the people who's making money. Why? Because I want to make money. I don't want to be broke. Okay. I used to drive from Jacksonville to Miami every week for 9 months. Why? Because I want to grow. I want to have success. But just staying in your house and not traveling, you're not going to have success. Get leads. If you don't have enough leads, look for leads, because we have a bunch of leads. And go to the rally points. Rally points are super important. Okay, every week, Mondays and Thursdays, we have one here. It's in a different places. So get together. Don't bother your spouse, and just keep going until you succeed. I didn't pay attention because Jason said he don't want to do it. I keep going. I listen to Andy Albright. He said, put the money in the bank, and he's going to pay attention. That is what happened. Exactly what he says. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Get a coach or a mentor in the business. Get to breakthrough. If you're a couple in this business and you want to explode your business faster and bigger, Breakthrough is the next powerful event that you can go to and get the tools from an Andy Albright and a Mark Aceta, who's going to help you grow a massive business. What you got to do is read the books, listen into the audios, and get face-to-face with people, get around the fire to really blow up your business. And Breakthrough is the big event that's doing that. So we would really encourage you guys to get there and experience that as a couple, as a business, and do that. And what your spouse is really looking for, they're not looking for you to coach them. They're looking for you to go out there and work hard and do those 3 things and get the training on your own and apply that and get better and listen a lot.
Yep. Love you guys. And I will see you in the nearest get together with Andy Albright that is going to be here in Fort Lauderdale the 20th with Gina Hacks for Medicare this Friday. And have an awesome day. And we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao.